Well, hello, my beautiful Taurians. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your twin flame reading for the end of October, right through the end of November 2025. I've already cleansed your space and I've meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about to pretend to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I will be using Gaia chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound. So let us start your reading and let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Taurians, this is your twin flame reading for those twins who are currently in separation. The first pile will be your pile, the second pile will be your person's pile, and the third pile is the unified energy of how things come together. And also, it is worth noting what a twin flame connection is, because if anyone is mentally, physically, or emotionally abusive, that is not a twin flame connection. That is more likely to be a false flame connection, and it really will drain you of your beautiful love and waste your wonderful time, okay? So let's get straight to your reading. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Taurians? What do they need to be aware of regarding their twin flame dynamic at this moment in time? Can you please highlight and show the way? What are they going through right now? And of course, what lies on the other side? So your first card there are the owls, the birds. So you're feeling really restless about this connection right now. And of course, we have the moon there for your person. So they're feeling very uncertain about their future. There's some fears that are getting in the way of this connection. And the outcome energy there is the child. So this can indicate a new beginning, a transformation of the relationship. But we just need to see how. Now, a twin flame dynamic, it is all-consuming. It is a passionate encounter with your person. There is a bond like no other. But there tends to be a certain dynamic that plays out typically, not all the time, but typically in most twin flame connections, and that is the rite of passage, which is a runner, a chaser, and a separation period dynamic where both parties, they retain a sense of independence, as it were, to get to know themselves on a deeper level, and they find their way back towards each other in a union. Now, it's more of a spiritual awakening than an actual physically romantic relationship, and whilst it is a physically romantic relationship at first, very intense, very passionate, very emotionally connected there as well, it's more of a process that prepares both parties to release low vibrational energy that keeps either party stuck in fear, unhealthy attachments, addictive patterns, and you know, it makes people look at the stuff, as it were, anything you're running away from that needs to be healed. Twin flames tend to have had a challenging relationship or a challenging experience, maybe even a traumatic experience before they even meet each other. And the job of the twin flame dynamic is to trigger each other, amplify anything that has been left unhealed so that both parties can look at themselves in order to heal and come back together in a union. Now, it is a very intense inner vibrational transformation, but it tends to be a personal journey of discovery, one that must be done alone, and both parties trigger each other in order to discover their true sense of purpose, but also to embrace unconditional love for self. You cannot love another person unless you love yourself fully. There tends to be self-loathing, abandonment issues in a twin flame dynamic, so both parties need to learn to love themselves first before they can come together in a union. because they can keep trying to be with each other. You and your twin keep, gravitating back towards each other, but there is that space in between. I like to describe it like magnets, okay? Both identical in frequency, and if you know magnets when they are identical in frequency because you share that energetic exchange between you and your twin, the magnets, they draw close to each other, they attract each other, but they also repel each other. There is that space in between because they cannot connect in the frequency that they are in. So both parties remain separate, both magnets remain separate. You are a magnet, your twin is one also, and the frequencies within yourself need to change. So that is when you put all your love, care, devotion, and attention inwards, but also onto your sense of purpose, and then the frequency within you changes. Therefore, your twin, their energy comes closer to you because your frequency has now changed. The magnet has now changed frequency. It wants to come closer, but it must step up or step out of the union. And only then, when both parties are aware of their triggers, their fears, and they start to have unconditional love for self, can they actually have a reunion process that is sustainable, where there isn't like a cycle repeat, where there's, one party leaving the union, stepping away, pushing the other away. Now, it is a formed sacred union, which is often the result of difficulty and pain. Both of you may have experienced very similar journeys in your life, and the lessons may be very similar from them. Maybe not identical, but very similar. And of course, the twin flame dynamic is a mirrored relationship. So when you're looking at your twin, you're looking at things within yourself that need to heal. They amplify any unhealed responses in order to break a habit. And of course, both parties, they kind of like acknowledge that they're looking in a mirror. So when you look in that mirror, you're seeing all the stuff within you. Your twin is looking at all the stuff that they've been running away from their whole life as well, okay? But also, both parties, initially when they look in that mirror, no one likes to see the version of themselves that perhaps they're not aware of, or that they have been aware of but found it hard to heal from. But their presence, each person's presence, has a job to amplify certain areas to promote healing, basically. And it will be this push and pull experience. It's not a game, it's an energetic exchange where two people are just trying to figure things out within themselves. And twin flame dynamic is a different type of love, okay? It often means that both parties have a mission in this lifetime. They have a sense of purpose, something that they need to complete. So they have to be separate for that as well. So the pause tends to be on purpose. It is often a very isolating and sometimes lonely experience because you have so much love for your twin and they feel the same. Don't get me wrong, your twin mirrors back the love to you as well as the fears and the inconsistencies there too. And of course, both parties, they want to be together, but they cannot understand why it's not working. So they seek to understand. They're trying to figure it all out, seeking clarity, guidance, but this must be done alone. And I always say, do not wait for your twin because they will have a timeline that works for them and yours will be a separate timeline. And I promise you, the universe will bring you back together when divine timing occurs, because when I went through my own experience with my twin, I would bump into my twin in a city full of millions of people, right? Maybe even billions of people, I'm not sure. But we bumped into each other on more than one occasion during the separation period. And I was like, what? And they were like, what? The universe was saying, hey, you've done some work now. Energetically, you are making progress. How about you come together and see if you can make it work? The universe wants you and your twin to be together, but you must do the work. And if your person is not doing it, it will just be longer. You could wait decades, months, years. It depends on your own specific twin. So do not wait. When the moment is right, breathe. The universe will align you again. But your first card there, that's just a little bite-sized idea of what it means to be in a twin flame dynamic. There's so many things out there that explain it in a deeper fashion, okay? But a twin will always step away to acknowledge where they feel damage or where they need to stand back, redefine themselves, or acknowledge a hurt or a wound that is preventing them from moving forward or opening themselves up to unconditional love, where the blockage is, so that they can create space to heal and accept that love, okay? So it's hard when your twin is pushing away because it feels very personal, but actually it is a process of the experience, and it is a projected emotion. Your person is not pushing you away. They're actually pushing parts of themselves away that they cannot face or find it hard to face in this present moment, okay? So with this card, you know, the bird's energy in your protagonist energy, it's remarkable that even in a full deck, a separate deck, you have actually got two cards that are almost identical. There is a sign and a message in that for you, okay? Two birds feeling restless, two, you know, energies that feel like they want to nest, they want to settle down, but it's hard. There's a stalemate here. Two of Swords is uncertainty. It is working things out, perhaps not seeing something regarding commitment that is the crux of this whole connection. So, of course, you don't need me to tell you there's some sort of commitment issue right now because you're living it. But this card indicates you've been very patient with this person. Number 12 is Hangman energy. You are willing to surrender to the process of this loving union. You're feeling a little bit unsure now. You're feeling a little bit uncertain. You may be wondering whether you still want to hold on to hope that you can settle down with your person one day, or whether this is just a pipe dream, and whether you should transform your life and, you know, go off and seek new encounters. I feel like you don't really want to do that. That's why you're holding out. There's an energy here of pause, of waiting, but you are in the testing period, waiting room of the twin flame dynamic, as it were, right now. And you may be feeling like you're in bloom. You're at your peak right now. No matter what age you're at your peak, and you may be feeling like you're blooming all by yourself, and you're feeling restless with that. You're like, you are lovable. You deserve love. And you may feel that it's just been too hard to wait for this person. You gave everything. I feel like you are on the precipice of a new chapter, but you're still a little bit concerned. Should I move forward? I feel the point is, it's time to refocus onto you, to reclaim your power, erect healthier boundaries, and invest in your sense of purpose there. I mean, the birds indicate an energy of like an inner discussion, because you do have like that crown chakra top hat there, where you're trying to work your way through some feelings and understand what's going on here. Maybe some of you are wondering if the twin flame dynamic actually exists, or whether it's something that you kind of like felt within yourself, and you're wondering if your person ever felt the same way. Well, the answer is, you know, they did feel something blossoming with you as well. They did have feelings for you. I feel like they still do, but they're in a very protective energy. You know, with that Five of Pentacles, this person, and this is actually showing a lot recently in the twin flame dynamics. So we're in a period right now of sorting through any illusions. You know, Neptune and Pisces is to really dissect, go deeper on emotions, and really stop like ignoring any problems or issues. It's an illumination period. So a lot of twin flames are actually looking at where they feel like they're not enough, where there's self-loathing, where they feel like they are unlovable. Now, your person is presenting right now as feeling like they're unlovable. So I'm not sure what happened to this person, but you know, the fear really is that they are not enough, or they feel like they are, you know, not worthy of your love in some way, and you just wanted to love this person. There's no judgment there. I feel like you are someone who thought about settling down with this person. You thought you've met your person, you've met your twin, which of course you have, but there is a dynamic that goes with that. Some of you wish you'd never met your twin, is what I'm seeing there, but I do acknowledge that you're learning lessons. You're just frustrated, fed up. You can't do this anymore with your twin. You're just restless, and you may have even sent them a message. And for some of you, I'm looking at this, and your person couldn't face that message because there's a lot of regret that they have for their actions. So that's coming through very strongly there. You may be wondering, did they get the message? Or maybe you didn't get the response that you hoped you'd get from this message, but it was almost a negotiation of like wanting to work it out, wanting to understand. Tell me what's going on, you know, surely we need to get closure on this, because I feel it's left open is what I'm seeing here with this energy. And I feel like there is an anxious energy because I feel things are at a stalemate because there's no communication. It's like, it feels very uncertain right now, up in the air. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to tell you something that isn't there. I feel like both of you are trying to get your life back into balance on this. And I feel like you're wondering, should you, wait until this person sorts through stuff? I always say do not wait, because remember, when you're meant to come back together in a union, the universe will orchestrate that and it will happen organically. So no need to wait. Focus on your own path, your own mission. And I do see, because the Six of Pentacles is here, I do see an opportunity in your future to connect to this person, converse with this person, and acknowledge that to some degree you're so alike on something, but this is about spilling emotions is what I'm seeing here. Your person is working through something and they need definitely to find balance in their life. But I have to say, the Devil card is still present. So this tells me there's still some sort of bond to either a toxic cycle repeat or a fear, or there's still this energy of feeling stuck. So I feel like there will be a new chapter in this twin flame dynamic, but your person, more than anything, I feel like they are tempted to fall back into old habits. That's what's coming through here. I don't feel like they are connected to anybody else. These cards tell me your person is in a cycle of regret. They feel very kind of like sorrowful is what I'm seeing here. Someone who is quite alone in their energy. Now, I'm not here to give anyone an excuse or a free pass or, say, oh, poor them, they went through this, because you're going through something as well. And both of you need to understand from both sides of the coin when it comes to your relationship dynamic, because then, only then, can you truly kind of find a way back towards each other. Because if there is misunderstanding, there is misalignment. So I feel, you and your person, you can find your way back towards each other, but it is going to be a process there. Two of Swords, you can't see that happening right now, because the Two of Swords indicates that you've gone a little bit quiet. You've withdrawn. Okay, you're actually withdrawing all of your energy. You've gone under the radar. You're protecting your inner peace. You may feel like this connection brings a lot of disruption to your life, and you've just been keeping this person now at arm's length. So a lot of you, I feel there is a change in dynamic where you are starting to detach or focus on yourself, but it's almost like I see you focusing your energy in a different direction. But you do need to refocus back inwards as well. You are changing a dynamic. I feel a lot of you with that Two of Swords, the withdrawal energy is going to trigger your person to come forward at some point. But I have to see where this is going to happen, because we've got the Six of Pentacles here in your future, which means balance, harmony, but also it highlights two people coming together to share a moment. And looking at the Two of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles with the Moon, your person is also very quiet. There's no conversation here. So I'm like, well, how are you both going to connect to each other if no one's saying anything? There's no communication here. So I'll have to pull a card on your person's energy, because looking at yours, I feel like, you can't see a future with this person right now. And I feel like you are going inwards for answers, which is great. You're taking a break from this, that's for sure, because you feel so uncertain. You're considering your options and you're taking your time with that. So I feel you're trying to make a decision in a very peaceful state of mind and not look outside of yourself. You're trying to look inside of yourself to recognize how you feel. But right now with that Two of Swords, you're feeling a little bit like lost in all this, drifting perhaps. And because you're in a period of reflection, it's like, how did it go from here? Because it's like you're so close, What I mean by that is these two birds, they're on top of, well, this card, they've got the birds on top of like a stump. And on this one, there's the home. They're like outside the home. So it's like, you got so close to commitment, but not quite there yet. It's like, well, how do we get to the next stage of this relationship? Because it feels like it ends always at the same point. What is that? What is the blockage? Because there's definitely a blockage here. And I feel actually it's not on your side. It's on your person's side. So you've got the Ace of Wands here. You're trying to transform your life. New chapter requires a new version of you. And I feel it's so important to recognize the cards that you have, right? Because your person has the same flower in a cage. So this is how you are. You're in bloom. You know, you very attractive. This person is magnetized towards you, and you're trying to retain your sense of confidence. You know, you're in a period of growth. This person has stifled growth. This person feels like they're not enough. They feel like something that was blossoming with you, they had to cut it short out of fear, because the Five of Pentacles is an abandonment issue, but also it is fear, it is regret, it is self-loathing, it is feeling like not enough. So it's like something that was really going to grow into something very special. This person with the moon energy, their hesitancy, I'm just hearing these words, and don't shoot the messenger when I say them. I don't like to talk like this. I never talk like this. But this person, the way they're coming through is like, I really messed it up. And I also feel this person, there's an energy here where they feel like they mess up everything. Okay. You know, often a twin flame dynamic has to do with our idea of love and what it looks like, how it feels. And it is often based on our own previous experiences that are created right from the very beginning, right from childhood, right up until now. It is a culmination, as it were, of, you know, woundings, unhealthy attachments or behaviors or things that need to be healed before you can get out of your own way and move forward to the next level. But what I'm seeing with this person is if they have no attachments, they can't get hurt, because the Devil card is so interesting in its present form. It's not showing up in your person's energy. It's showing up in the outcome energy. This person is deeply attached to you. And I feel like there is a suffering here with this person that you're not in their life, but there is some sort of monumental fear where they have a blockage and they're finding it really hard to see their way through this. Two of Pentacles, just when they feel like they talk themselves out of it. I feel like there's an energy of this person being very inconsistent, very wishy-washy, being very indecisive, and they're completely out of balance or alignment with their life is what I'm seeing. I feel like they were kind of drifting when you first met them as well. I mean, fives tend to be an energy of losing or loss in some way. And I feel that this person, there's a different type of energy coming from this person where it's like in the home space, there's been loss. I'm being given more of bereavement. So this could be that they lost someone very close to them when they were younger or before they met you. Okay. And they acknowledge that they had such a deep bond with that person, and it has triggered fears of death in this person. Now, I'm going to pull some cards on this because that's something that's coming through for me right now for this person. And it's like, you can fear being left and abandoned in a connection. You know, you could be with a person romantically and fear that you're going to lose them. But this person is like, no matter what, if you care about someone, no matter how you care about them, eventually life will come and just snatch them away from you. Whether it's through the person leaving or whether it's through death, loss. So this person, there is an energy that if you care so deeply, you care so much, this person's actually a very deep person, very philosophical, very deep thinker. And they have a fear of almost like connecting to anybody because they feel that if they get really close to somebody, something happens. Like circumstances take them out of their life. So I'm just going to pull a quick card on this. We've got the Four of Swords. They actually keep themselves very stuck. I mean, Four of Swords and the Two of Swords. So you're presenting as the Two of Swords. So they're all up in your energy as well. They're so connected to you. Two of Swords, Four of Swords, very uncertain, very protective. If you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, I love that deck because it pictorially tells you what the card is all about. And there's a figure in a very calm environment on the beach. Okay, and there's calm waters behind, so there's no threat, but they've got the swords crossed. The swords are protecting their energy. They're like, I don't know how I feel about this. I know there's no threat right now. I know that everything seems to be going really well, but what if it gets all taken away? You know, I need to just protect myself from ever feeling that. So I feel this person is very protective. We have the Page of Swords here. Got the Lover's card. So someone, I mean, the Four of Swords, again, if you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, the Four of Swords, this can also connect to death, someone being laid to rest. Okay, so that's just coming out in this person's energy. So this may be someone who, they love deeply. I mean, it could be a friend. It doesn't have to be someone romantic. It doesn't have to be, someone in their family. I just feel like this person, there's a bereavement here. And it really kind of changed the way that they love. It's like if I just, have feelings but keep everything at a distance, then I won't attach to a painful outcome. Because eventually love leaves, or love equates pain, because when you care so much about somebody, eventually something happens that will cause pain. So that's what this person's kind of like thought process is. Now, this may not resonate with all of you, but this is something that's coming through here. Four Swords is an energy of like finding clarity, really working through things, a need to take care of themselves, but also to seek to understand why they keep protecting themselves, because you're protecting yourself because there's an energy that you got so close to a relationship with this person, you thought you were settling down with this person, but you never quite got there, and you can't now see the future with this person because everything's at a stalemate. And this person realizes that their withdrawal or this moment has kept them at a stalemate in their relationships. But we've got the Page of Swords. This person's like got you on their mind all the time. This person's curious about you. We got the Lovers card there, so they have love for you. They see you as your equal. They see you as their twin. They may not understand it that you are their twin. They may actually say that you are soulmate, or they know that there's a bond like no other. And I feel with that Page of Swords, they're curious about why they feel this way about you and why you got deeper than everybody else, and why, no matter what they do, they can't stop thinking about you. Normally, they've got a really great detachment game where they can kind of like shut down, keep everyone at an arm's length, just be independent and not connect, no attachments. But something's different about you, and I feel this person's going to tell you about this. I feel like they're going to tell you about a bereavement, something maybe from when they were younger. And it's not an excuse. This person was really affected by this, and it really set them thinking deeply about life and love and human connection. I mean, if you look up the meaning of the moon, it's all about the shadows, the fears, the secret whispers of the heart, the worries, the anxieties, but also it's the hidden, the fear of the unknown. And that is what the Two of Swords is. And it's presenting on both sides here for you both. Two of Swords, if you look up the meaning and you apply it to that traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, the figure, the history of that card is that figure is about to explore unknown territory. They don't know how it's going to go. There's stepping stones to get to the new island in the background. So there's a process. And this person was deep in the process, connecting to you. But at the same time, they were fearful as to how things were going to go. And you're fearful as to how things are going to go too. But you got to take a leap of faith and understand that love is to live in the moment. It is to understand another. It is to be open. It is to be vulnerable with each other, to be raw. And I feel like you surrender to that because you have number 12, which is the Hangman energy, to surrender to that knowledge. Whereas your person's got 32. And when you reduce that, of course, because you reduce the numbers up to the end of the world energy, because they are the major arcanas. So this is number 5. 3 plus 2 is 5, and they have a 5 of Pentacles, which is worry and fear, and 5 is the Hierophant. 5 is marriage. 5 is commitment. But also, it can be some sort of connection to a moment where there was some ceremony with someone who they have history with. And again, I keep coming back to well, I'm being given a sentence. I lay me down to my repose. I don't know what that means. I mean, what does repose even mean? I'm going to have to look that up. I mean, I'm a fae with a lot of language, but the word repose just came in and I'm like, what does that mean? So it's almost like I'm getting the sense of like laid down to rest. So yeah, I really feel this person has been affected by bereavement, and it has just clouded how they feel and how they fear love. Okay, 5 Pentacles, also this person feels like they're not enough. So there's a lot going on with this person. So it is going to be a process there. 2 of Pentacles, 2 Pentacles indicates someone who is very inconsistent. And I would say your twin right now, whoever I'm picking up on, because every time I do these readings, I pick up on different energies. So it doesn't always have to be the same person or the same energy, but often there is a consistency. For this one, it's very unique. I feel this person, they want to connect to you, but they haven't, discovered truly what the blockage is. I feel there's a lot of regret here, and this person's going to tell you they regret their actions, how they had a knee-jerk reaction, cut something that was blossoming short. It feels very much like there's someone with so much love, but they have sacrificed that to keep themselves safe. And I feel they are lonely in that. And when the loneliness gets too loud, that's when they kind of seek change. Humans, we do not change unless we kind of like feel frustrated, a lot of tension. And, change only happens when we're so fed up of other people's BS and our own. And I feel this person is starting to feel that way. But there's something here about stability, or something here about balance, reciprocity. I just feel like more than anything, it's not even reciprocity. It's like, how can I put it? It's the cycle of life is what I'm being given here. It's like for every up, there's a down. For every happiness, there's a pain. I feel this person is always thinking about the different cycles, and they're constantly thinking that if I'm happy, then there's going to be a sadness to counterbalance that. If, I am successful here, I'm going to have a loss over here. If I'm in love, someone or something is going to take that away. There's going to be pain, sorrow, sadness. I just feel like they're always thinking about the other side, okay? And I would say it's important to recognize there's a new chapter here. So there is going to be a new version of this twin flame dynamic. This person is going to find a way to talk to you. Page of Swords came out, so a message. I feel like this person has drafted this message so many times. They're going to tell you that as well. They're going to say, you know what, I've tweaked this message so many times. Or they're going to say, I have added to this message, edited. I just really wanted to get really precise about what I wanted to say. But they will reach out with a message. And I feel like they do want to see you face to face to tell you something. There's something here that's been left unsaid, something that is deep within them, that is private. And I feel like they're kind of like on the precipice of a change where they're highlighting, I think I finally kind of worked out where the blockage may be, but they haven't got it 100%. So there is still an inconsistency in this person's energy. Just be mindful. You may kind of repeat a cycle with this person. Protect your energy. I feel like they mean well, but they are tempted to fall back into an old cycle repeat, or they're tempted to allow their fears to control the situation. Devil card can be all about control. But the overarching energy is a fresh new start, a beginning. So this person may even be like, can we begin again? And you're like, no, we can't begin again. We have to acknowledge what happened. You can't just sweep it under the carpet. It's not just done. It happened. You need to take accountability for actions. And there's going to be quite an intense conversation about that. A new beginning can occur. But again, it's like both of you need to face the uncharted territory. Because again, if you think about this figure is literally on the beach with the waves lapping in, and there's the horizon in the background. This figure has turned around to face the horizon. So I feel that because both of you got the Two of Swords at some point, that's facing away from the horizon, and now it's like facing towards the horizon. I feel both of you are thinking about your future in different ways, a new chapter. This feels very much like your new chapter is continuing to blossom within yourself, gain more confidence within yourself. But I feel like because the polka dots are there, you just want to have fun. You want to simplify your life. You're fed up of this drama. You're fed up of this heaviness in the connection. You're like, why can't love just be easy? It's easy for some people, but why not here in this situation? Why has this been so hard? And I feel that this person doesn't want it to be hard, but there's something here. I feel there's definitely something from childhood, something from this person's family. I feel it is a bereavement, but this person will discuss this with you. You will see this person again, whether it's to get closure or whether it is to move forward into a union. That's your prerogative, because this is a face-to-face encounter where you kind of like work things out or balance things out. And I feel like there's an energy of, interesting, I just heard the word mercy So maybe you kind of get a message with this person where they're like, you know what, please just give me another chance. Show me a moment of, I mean, I don't think anyone talks like that. Show me a moment of mercy. I don't think anyone would ever say that, but I feel there's this energy where this person's like, please give me another chance. Give me a chance to explain at least. That's what I'm getting from this person, an earnestness, like, I just need to explain. Even if you walk away, I just need you to know. And I feel like you would like to know because you have the owls there. But let me just pull a quick card because the Devil card is present, which indicates that, you know, especially with the Two of Swords on either side, it's telling me that both parties feel a little bit stuck or tempted to repeat a pattern or go over the same old ground because there's two webs here. And this could just mean that both of you are stuck in uncertainty about this because, you know, what has played out in your union has played out. You're going to look at this relationship from a different perspective, my beautiful Taurians, which is like, how can I ever trust that this person's not going to be wishy-washy, inconsistent, and just walk away or ghost or, you know, not be true to their word? How can you trust again when you feel that this person's already let you down in some way in this connection? And this person's also going to be like, how can I trust based on my fears whether I can have a happy union? Will I slip back into an old pattern or a cycle repeat? I feel this person's actually more fearful that they will be tempted to go back into their old ways based on who they are. Because I'm just hearing this sentence and I don't like it, but I'm hearing it, so I got to tell you, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, you can. So, yeah, I'm just going to leave it like that. Let me just, thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Great Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Taurians on that Six of Pentacles with the Devil card energy? What is that all about? Because, oh, thank you so much. I'm truly grateful. My guide said the death energy is number 13. And they're right. This is number 13. So there's something here about, I mean, it could be the death of a sibling when they were younger or something like that. I'm not sure. But there's definitely something about bereavement in this person's energy. Two of Swords. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I mean, Two of Swords does mean a conversation between two people, a head-to-head, okay? But it's also stalemate. So you and your person, there's going to be a conversation face-to-face, I feel, not just over text, face-to-face. And you may go around in circles on this a little bit, but you seek to understand. I want to see past that because Two of Swords just seems like both of you are going to remain in the same position for a little while, but I want to see beyond that. Knight of Swords, there will be action and adaptation. My guide said an adaptation. So the Knight of Swords, it kind of indicates, especially with swords being present as your outcome, which is thoughts being communicated, things that have been left unsaid, being spoken. You know, when you get the Knight of Swords, it means that this time you're responding differently, or both of you are going to find a way to respond differently to this situation. Only then can you move forward. Only then can you move on. Swords are all about truth, honesty, realizations. So I feel both of you want to kind of like speak your truth. You got to be a little bit mindful of, there's a bit of anger here. I got to be honest with you. Okay. And I feel like you're not going to temper that, and that's okay. You know, you do not have to validate your feelings for anybody or make them palatable to anybody. How you feel is how you feel. But I feel that, you know, this is an energy where both of you need to seek to understand if you truly want to come back together in a unity. But I feel right now the relationship in its present form is in need of repair in so many ways. And there has to be this conversation where your person speaks their truth about their fears or speaks their truth in a moment of clarity to help you understand why they have pushed away or why they are getting in their own way in this connection. Because, I mean, this person, it's almost like they shut their feelings away. They may even tell you that they are seeking a counselor about their experiences because it has really affected their whole life, I feel, not just relationships. Knight of Swords is a lifestyle change. And right now, this person is very inconsistent. The Devil card is there. So either there is some sort of numbing pain with this person, numbing a pain that's not connected to the twin flame dynamic at all. It feels like it existed before you even met each other. And So I feel this person may be talking to a counselor, or they're going to tell you about like toxic thoughts, intrusive thoughts, challenges, maybe even, you know this already, about some sort of habit, addiction, perhaps, that this person has. I feel also there's an obsession about the narrative of pain and loss. You know, it's like it hangs over them like a cloud their whole life. And this person, you know, if there's a cross watcher there and this is ringing true to you and you're like, yep, that's me, then seeking counseling will really help you open up on those emotions and help you process some things. Not that you're going to forget about those experiences because they've shaped who you are, they're important to you, but so that you can process them and not allow them to control you, so that you can open up to happiness. Because of course, when you go through some sort of trauma and you have a response to it, no matter what it is, you know, a person will shut down, of course, and they heal in a way where they believe, of course, they are just going to be strong. They're strong enough to take on more sadness and pain. But actually, healing often should open you up to the possibility that there is love and joy and happiness out there that can be consistent and will not be taken away from you. Sometimes, you know, when we go through something challenging, we expect more of the same. And healing is to learn that that was a part of your life that you had to deal with. And I'm sending you a huge hug out there and so much love if that's something you have been dealing with. But shifting the perspective on healing is to acknowledge that you deserve happiness. That this moment should not define you or keep you locked and lost in it, but should inform you, heal you, and help you live in the present moment to try and live your best life with the circumstances that you've got, of course. So I'm just going to go and get some cards just to highlight anything more regarding this dynamic. These are often conversations that have been left unsaid. There's a lot of cards that just popped out there, but obviously my guides wanted those ones for you. So what do we have? We have I did say this person's getting fed up of their own BS. It says here, I'm so tired of sabotaging this connection. They are. They regret that their actions have had a consequence, of course, and I feel that this is something this person is really grappling with at this moment in time. It says, I'm so grateful for you. I feel like they are, of course. You're both sharing that blossoming flower in your energy. And it highlights that you really brought them out of themselves. They felt kind of full with you, but their fears unfortunately got in the way of this connection. But there was also something about this person where they're like, there's chaos, or every time they go to a place where they feel stable, something happens and, you know, it just goes out of their control and it just feels like it's negative. It says, I've never felt a love like this before. I believe that person. There's a lot of depth to this person. They're very philosophical, so they tend to ruminate on things for a very long time. And I do feel that they shut things down because you got too close. I can feel you pulling away. Have you moved on? This person can feel it dying away. If you think about, you got the flower there. You know, you're in bloom, you're at your peak, and they've got that flower within themselves, like they hold the memory of you with them, and they feel it kind of like dissolving away there, so they can feel you detaching. Remember, you are bonded to this person, an unspoken bond, and it's like the magnets. They can feel you when you energetically move away. You're contemplating a new beginning, a new chapter. They can feel that, and that's what's going to trigger them, as I said, to come forward. I've got a tarot reading on you, so that may be a new one, something that they're going to tell you about that. So I feel like they are kind of into the mystical. This could happen in and around Samhain, Halloween period. So expect a message kind of perhaps after that reading. You'll find out that actually they contact you after the reading. Okay. What if you don't accept me for who I truly am, who I really am there? So, I mean, there is a lot of fear within this person. They feel like they're not worthy, not enough. So I feel, you know, love any kind of love, but most importantly, a twin flame love, it's exposing. You know, you can't hide from the person that you love. They see you in all your glory, and vice versa. So this person's afraid of you really seeing the true them because they feel like they have nothing to offer, or they feel like they're somehow not enough, that they're unlovable in some way. And that's a fear of theirs. And you actually love them for who they are and how they made you feel in those moments where everything felt like it was coming together, but their fears just tore it apart. We've got, yes, I've already read that one about sabotaging the connection. And finally, I want to be with you. This person does. I mean, the devil is there, so that can indicate that physically they miss you as well. But it's like, let's just have fun. I've just got this energy of like, let's just have fun and start again. But you can't do that. You can't just start from scratch when there's so much that has gone on that has left a wake of sadness, uncertainty, destruction, and it needs to be accounted for. So yes, this person does want to be with you, but I feel it's a long way back to where you could be as a couple. It's going to be a process. Not going to lie to you there. I think you know that already, but I feel that this person's not quite ready to give you the love that you truly deserve and desire and make it consistent, because I feel like they're still a little bit inconsistent. So finally, we got the light bulb. Okay, light bulb is illumination. It is an awakening. It is to see. It indicates that you are on this person's mind. I feel like this person's waking up their emotions, their wounds, so they can really look at them. And also remember, especially since the devil card is there, you're not just a light switch being turned on and off whenever this person tries to come into your life. You are looking for more substance there, and I feel this person needs to learn that, acknowledge that, and that's probably why you're kind of teaching them, but it's not a game, it's a self-preservation mode, that, you know, you're almost showing them what a life without you feels like, and it doesn't feel good. That's why this person's all up in sorrow, sadness, regret. They can feel you pulling away, but, you know, sometimes you have to make sure you reaffirm that boundary, because if someone, you know, crosses a boundary and you allow them back in after that, you're teaching them that your boundaries don't matter, or that they can just come in whenever they want and, you know, push the boundary. And I feel right now you're in a period of erecting healthier boundaries there, okay? So I'll leave it there. I hope something resonates, my beautiful Taurians. Thank you so much, and love and light.